All right, guys. So, as a course of addiction study prescribed by Crime Victim Care of Allen County, we give out certificates. These certificates show that you have finished our program in full compliance and that you are cured. Not cured, but you are able to move on. Signifies a lot of times that you're done with your probation. And we have a little certificate here. And I would like to present this to our graduate today, in showing that he has been with us, he's in full compliance, he's been a joy to have, and I'm really glad to see him graduate. I'm not going to say your name like that, but if you want to translate that.
ဒီနေ့ကျမတို့ဗာမယ် certificate ပေးတာပေါ့နော်ဒီ certificate လက်မှတ်တင်နန်းပြည့်ပြည့်စုံတဲ့ကိုတက်ထားတဲ့တင်နန်းပြည့်ပြည့်စုံတဲ့တဲ့ဟာကြောင်းပေးတာပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒီဒါပေမဲ့သူကဟိုဒီအမောင်လေးနာမည်ကိုသူကမတော့မှာဘူးလေအဲ့ဒီဟာကဗီဒီယိုနဲ့ပါမှာဆို
All right, so here you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So, I guess what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit today. Who here is familiar with Is anybody here familiar with the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous?
အဲ့ဒီအကြောင်းနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဒီ12 step 12ဆင့်ရှိရပါတော့အဲ့ဒီအကြောင်းနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးရင်းနှီးမှုရှိလားအရင်ကြောင်းလာလို့မရပေါ့သိလား
If I point to you and call you by a different name, it's because we're on film and I don't want to say your name on it.
No, okay.
တခြားနာမည်နဲ့ခေါ်မှလည်း
That's fine, you're famous.
So James, you've never heard?
No.
No?
Mm-hmm.
No? Neu? You never heard of the 12 steps? Okay, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholics Anonymous, we'll just start from the very beginning. Alcoholics Anonymous is a recovery program. It's a program of recovery.
Alcoholics Anonymous ဆိုတာကဒီရက်သမားတွေပြန်လဲကောင်းမွန်လာတဲ့ program ကိုပြောတာဖြစ်တယ်တဲ့
It's cool.
Yeah. The program was started back in the, I think, 1930s.
Wow.
Yeah. By two men. Okay. Bill W. Patrick, yes, I started it back in the 1930s. Okay. These two people, they're usually referred to as Bill W. or Bob S., which also goes back to the idea of being anonymous. Okay, in the same way, we do not want your faces or names on the recording. This program was based on that idea. And that idea, the term in English used for that idea is being anonymous or anonymity.
အဲ့ဒီ program ကိုစပြီးဖွဲ့ခဲ့တာ1930ကနေပြီးတော့လူနှစ်ယောက်ကနေစပြီးဖွဲ့ခဲ့တယ်ပေါ့နော်လူနှစ်ယောက်ဆိုတာကဆိုဥပမာသူရေးထားတဲ့ Bill W နဲ့ Bob S ဆိုတဲ့လူနှစ်ယောက်ကစ anonymous ဆိုတာကကျမတို့စာအတိုင်းပြောလိုက်လို့ရှိရင်အမည်မသိရှိစာဆိုအမည်မသိပေါ့အမည်မခေါ်ချင်တဲ့လူတွေအတွက်ကိုပြောတာ
If you're curious, their names were actually Bill Wilson and Bob Smith. Dr. Bob. People call him Dr. Bob. They were two alcoholics, two people that were suffering from alcoholism. And they got together and they discovered that there was a way to stay sober. This was back in the 30s. The only thing that you could do for alcoholics were send them to, thank you, sorry about that. send them to an insane asylum, basically. Once you are so far gone, they didn't have a cure for alcoholism. They didn't have a treatment. They had treatments like belladonna, which I think was a medication, water therapy, they had electric shock therapy, they had all these therapies that they tried to use, but there was never any formal treatment that worked for alcoholics.
အဲ့ဒီအချိန်တုန်းကဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီအရင်ဒီမူရစေဝါနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတောက်သုံးတဲ့လူတွေကိုပြန်ပြီးကုသပေးတဲ့နေရာဆိုပြီးတော့မရှိဘူးတတ်မှတ်မရှိဘူး။ဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့လိုမျိုး electric shock လို့မျိုးဒီလျှက်စင်နဲ့ shock လို့တဲ့ဟာမျိုးပေါ်လာနောက်ပြီးရေနဲ့လုပ်တဲ့ဟာမျိုးအဲ့ဒါမျိုးတွေလောက်ပဲရှိတယ်။ဒါပေမဲ့တတ်မှတ်ဆိုတဲ့နေရာမရှိဘူး။
There was a group of people that got together before Bob and Bill got together. There was a group of people called the Oxford Group. They were a Christian group. Okay, the Oxford Group was a Christian group. The Oxford Group, they had a program that had not 12 steps, they had 6 steps. Okay. It was a different program. I don't know a lot about the Oxford Group. When Bill Wilson was at his lowest, when he was a drunk, nothing could change his life, somebody from the Oxford Group came to him and explained their way of recovery, that 6 steps. The basis behind this recovery program was the idea of service. Service to others.
program မှာအဲ့ဒီ sorry အဲ့ဒီအရင်ကဒီလူမျိုး bill နဲ့ board ရဲ့အရှိမသူတို့ group တစ်ခုရှိခဲ့ဘူးတဲ့အဲ့ဒီ group ကဘာ group လဲဆိုတော့ Oxford group လို့ခေါ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါက Christian အဖွဲ့ဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့ဒီအဖွဲ့မှာကျတော့သူတို့ကကျတော့7နှစ်စင်မဟုတ်ဘဲနဲ့60ပဲရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒီ60မှာရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒီမှာလောက်တဲ့ဒီအဲ့ဒီမှာပါဝင်တဲ့လူတွေထဲကနေပြီးသူတို့လာပြောရဲပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒီဟာကအကုန်လုံးရတဲ့လုံးပြမအောင်မြင်နိုင်ဘူးမကောင်းပြန်မကောင်းလာဘူးဆိုပြီးတော့ပြောတာ
And before Bill met Bob, he tried out the Oxford Group. He tried out the way that they did this program, and he didn't have much success. He stayed sober. He didn't get drunk, but he was having a very hard time finding people that would stay sober without getting drunk.
သူကအဲ့ Bill Wilson ဆိုတဲ့လူကဒီဟာကိုလုပ်ဖို့ကြိုးစားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့သူကအရင်မတော့ဘူးအဲ့ဒါမှသူကဒီအရင်မတော့ဘဲနဲ့သူအရင်တော့လို့ရှာတာခက်တယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါပဲ
All right. One of the main tenets of the Oxford Group's philosophy was that in order to stay sober, if you wanted to quit drinking, the best way to quit drinking and to stay sober was to find another alcoholic and to help them. You know, to help somebody else stay sober is to help yourself. That was the main point of this program.
The Oxford Group ရဲ့သူတို့ရဲ့အဓိကကျတဲ့ philosophy တစ်ခုကကျတော့ဘာလဲဆိုတော့ကိုကအရက်တက်ချင်တယ်ဆိုရင်ဒီအရက်သမားတရားကိုရှာပြီးတော့ကိုကနေပြီးကုညီပေးခြင်းအပြင်ကိုရဲ့အရက်ကိုပြတ်စေတာပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကသူတို့ရဲ့အဓိကကျတဲ့ philosophy တစ်ခုဖြစ်တယ်
So Bill Wilson, he was on a business trip or something like that, and things weren't going his way. The Oxford Group, he couldn't find anybody that wanted to be part of the program, and he was in a hotel, and he was sitting at a bar, and he was faced with a choice. Do I drink, or do I go help somebody? And he went to the phone book and he just started calling churches and hospitals saying, I'm an alcoholic looking to help another alcoholic. He went through this long list and And finally, one of the places said, we have somebody for you, come see him. And that person ended up being Dr. Bob. Another drunk, this guy was in the hospital for drinking, another hopeless case of somebody that couldn't quit. And Bill and he got together, and they were kind of officially the start of Alcoholics Anonymous, this new group, a new philosophy on how to stay sober was born when they got together.
အဲ့ဒီချိန်မှာဒီ Bill was ညနေပြီးတော့သူကခရီးသွားတယ်သူကဒီ program မှာသူကရှိနေတာဟို Oxford group မှာရှိနေတာသူ့တော်လူရှာဖို့လည်းခက်တယ်အဲ့ဒီမှာသူကတနေ့မှာကျတော့သူ hotel မှာဘာမှတခုမှသူကထိုင်နေတယ်အဲ့ဒီမှာသူကအရက်ခွက်ပြီးသူအရက်တောက်အောင်မလားဒါမှမဟုတ်လူရှာရမှာဘာလို့လူရှာဖို့အရင်ခက်တယ်အဲ့လိုနဲ့သူကဒီဆေးရုံကိုသူကဖုန်းဆက်တယ်တရားဝင်အောင်လိုက်ပြီးဖုန်းဆက်တဲ့အခါမှာနောက်ဆုံးမှသူက Dr. Bob နဲ့တွေ့တယ်သူကလည်းအရက်ကိုဖြတ်နေတာနောက်ပြီးတော့ဖြောင်းလင်းချက်မဲ့နေတဲ့လူတစ်ယောက်ဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်မလို့သူတို့နောက်ဆုံးမှသူတို့ညကအတူတူပေါင်းပြီးတော့ဒီ idea အတိတ်ကိုသူတို့ကနေပြီးတော့ပြန်ပြီးတော့စတင်တာပေါ့နော်
So one of the first things they did, we have the Oxford group. It was a Christian group. One of the first things they did, they took Christianity out of it. Okay, it was no longer a religious group. Okay, it was a spiritual group. You know, it asked that you try to find a higher power. Okay. They asked that you find a higher power, but that was not any specific religion. You know, if you were Christian, it would be Christ. If you were Muslim, it would be Muhammad or God. If you were Buddhist, it would be the world. What would a Buddhist? What would a Buddhist consider to be a power greater than themselves? Like Christians, we have a relational. We have a relational religion, basically. There's God, and then there's us, and we're separated. What is the situation with Buddhism?
As for the Buddhism, we have to do by ourselves. We have to believe ourselves, and if you do good thing, you will be good. If you do bad thing, you will accept again bad.
So you are a part of everything.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that connection to everything would be considered the higher power. So the idea that there's something out there bigger than us, and we can use that, whatever is bigger than us, we can use that power to stay sober. And they still held on to the idea that how do we connect to this power? How do we connect to this power that's greater than us? They still held on to the tenet that service to others. If John, okay, you're John. John, if I want to stay connected to my higher power, if I want to hold on to that force that's keeping me sober, the only way I can stay connected to that is by going out and finding another alcoholic and helping them. If I go out and help you, I make a human connection on a very spiritual level, okay? And through that connection, I'm staying connected to my force that's keeping me sober. That's kind of the backbone of this program. That's what they're saying.
Okay, let me.
Okay.
ကျွန်မအကုန်လုံးတော့ဘာသာမပြန်ဘူးဘာလို့အားလုံးအမှန်တကယ်နားလည်နေတာ။နောက်သူတို့နှစ်ယောက်ကနေပြီးတော့အရင်ဆုံးအဲ့ဒီအခွဲကဘာအရင်ဆုံးလုပ်လဲဆိုတော့ဒီအရင်ဆုံးက Oxford group ကကျတော့သူက Christian အတွက်ဖြစ်တယ်။ဒါပေမဲ့အခုသူတို့နှစ်ယောက်လုပ်တဲ့အခါကျတော့အရင်ဆုံးကဒီ Christian အတွက်ကြည့်မဟုတ်ဘူးဒီဘာသာတဲ့ရင်းညွှန်းတာပေါ့။ဘယ်ဘာသာမဆိုဝင်ပြီးတော့ပါလို့ဝင်လို့ရတယ်ဆိုတော့ open society ပုံစံမျိုးသူတို့ကဖွင့်ထားတယ်ပေါ့နော်။အဲ့ဒီလိုမျိုးဖွင့်တယ်။အလူမှအဓိကကျတာကကျတော့ဒီကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဒီ power ပေါ့နော်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ power သူတို့ဒီ Christian မှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူတို့တွေကဒီဖျားနဲ့ဖျားပေါ့နော်ဖျားနဲ့ဆက်ဆက်နေတယ်ပေါ့နော်ကျမတို့ဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာကျတော့ကိုကအဓိကပဲဖျားပြောတာတော့ဖျားကိုယူပဲထိုင်ရှိခိုးနေလို့လေကျမတို့အလုံးဖြစ်ဘူးဖျားပြောပြီးတာပဲကိုကောင်းတာလုပ်ရင်ကောင်းတာဖြစ်မယ်မကောင်းတာလုပ်ရင်မကောင်းတာဖြစ်မှာပဲဒါကတော့ကိုယ့်ပုံမှာမူတည်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်မလို့ဒီဟာကိုသူတို့ကဘယ်လိုဆက်ဆက်မလဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကျမတို့ကတ The child will go kuni beijing apian deep power will yasi or the child will go like the 2 year say by saying apian or tomorrow kuni bit of the power gale goosey go pian yasi the 2 sigo yasi or goosey will have pian yasi or not era the alcohol and then me to get joy you pit about
Okay. So So some people may ask, if it's that simple, why don't we just help other people, connect to our higher power, and everybody will stay sober? With a little bit of sarcasm, I said, if it seems pretty easy, the equation seems pretty easy, to connect to our higher power. We just need to help other people, which connects us to our power greater than ourselves. And then that power keeps us sober. So why can't we just do that?
The higher power, the child will have a connect with them, goes you like the Yancy.
There are a few things that get in the way, okay? As alcoholics, we suffer from a very selfish, self-seeking nature, okay? Think of alcoholism in itself. What do? We drink. We drink because it makes us feel good, it takes care of our problems, and chances are we're drinking to the point where we do not take into consideration how it affects other people. Okay, if we were concerned about how it affects other people, maybe we would be able to quit. But as alcoholics, we are concerned about ourselves. We're concerned about feeling good and forgetting our problems. Because of that, we're cursed with the ability to hold on to some of these things right here. We hold on to resentments. A resentment is when I'm hurt by something and I hold on to that hurt. Okay, John, back there in the corner. Let's say you make fun of me in class. You call me a name, okay? And every time I see you, I remember that you called me a name and it hurts on the inside, okay? You forgot about it. You don't even remember calling me a name. But every time I see you, I get mad, okay? That's resentment, okay? That's something I'm holding on to every time I see you, okay? I can add, do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now to your the Maria, at that Jesus or a jangle, yet the Maria at that Jesus, to solo Genaga, yet the Maria go up the good, but yet I was like a count of cancer. Go up the good, okay, go on to Yata or not on Pawinting, I am Pitazu, I am Pawinting, a fatalist or since I'm Migas, you are a Yago Dabe met a gentleman was out of the aluminum hop to drop up at the Hatayam account, maybe also a damn machine. And I don't want to do the resentments rocket. So long as the resentments to the jungle to a shame yada. Uma, I can't so much so don't want to go or not maybe a cuckoo class mother call like that to share as it a hundred cubano. Anyhow, do you them at Anna go tea of your hat tea over. Element to tea dollars like a loan to cuckoo, you may have your like a thing, but I do have your like as well. So, you're like the cat, you're a maid on me. That we met to go near time, that would be low Paris or a example, and yet and new she that boy. New she of Jonna, a day of my G of Jonna, I don't be opinion, and I will recess man quiet.
Okay. So we deal with resentment, we deal with fear. Okay, every day everybody deals with fear. But it seems like an alcoholic deals with fear a little differently, okay? We're consumed by fear. Alcoholics, every day we are consumed with fear. That's one of the reasons why we drink. We're afraid of what people think of us. We're afraid of financial insecurity. We're afraid of emotions. We're afraid of feelings. All of these things that are going on inside, we have fear about these things. And because of that, this is one of the things that get in the way of us staying sober. We also deal with anger. Alcoholics are very quick to anger. One of the reasons is because we hold on to these resentments. Okay? Another reason we anger is because of fear. Right?
သူပြောတာကဒီလူတွေကကြောက်တတ်ကြတယ်။နော်ကြောက်တတ်ကြတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကြောက်တဲ့အရက်သမားတွေကကြောက်တတ်ကြတော့မတူဘူး။သူတို့ကြောက်တာတွေကဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့အမျိုးမျိုးဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်တချို့လူတွေကငါ့ကိုအထင်သေးမလားလူတွေကငါ့ကိုဘာထင်မလဲဆိုတဲ့ကြောက်ရွံ့စိတ်တွေကိုဖုံးပြီးတော့နောက်တစ်ခုကကျတော့ဥမာအဖြစ်ငွေရေးကြေးရေးအဆင်မပြေဘူးမိသားစုကြားထဲမှာအဆင်မပြေမှုတွေများလာလို့အဲ့ဒီဟာတွေကိုသူရင်ဆိုင်ရမှကြောက်လို့အဲ့လေမူရင်လောကယူမေ့တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ပုံစံမျိုးပေါ့အဲ့လိုမျိုးနဲ့သူတို့တွေကတောက်တာပေါ့နော်နောက်ပြီးတော့ဒီ feeling ခံစားချက်တွေကိုကြောက်လို့ပေါ့အဲ့ဒါတွေအဲ့ဒီအကြောက်တရားတွေကြောင့်သူတို့တွေကတောက်နောက်တစ်ခုကကျတော့စိတ်ဆိုတာဒီ anger ဆိုတာစိတ်တူတာဒေါသထွက်တာသူတို့တွေကျတော့စိတ်တူတာအရမ်းမြန်တယ်ဘာဖြစ်လို့ဆိုဒီအပေါ်ကဒီကြောင်ရုံမှုတွေသူ့မှာကင်ဆောင်ထားတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်တော့ဒီလူကဒီအရက်သမားတွေကကျတော့ဒီစိတ်တူကိုဒေါသထွက်ဖို့တော့အရမ်းကိုမြန်တယ်
I look at anger like the way a dog treats the mailman. Okay? So the mailman, he comes up, he's putting mail in your mailbox. And you have a dog, he sees the mailman, starts barking. Okay? Is he mad at the mailman? Is he mad?
Yeah.
No.
Now, question,
No.
Is he mad or
angry.
is he afraid?
Afraid.
Right.
Okay,
Afraid.
afraid. And a lot of times that's how we as, people, that's how we react. When I'm afraid, what's my reaction? Puff up my chest. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. You know? You want to fight? You know?
Fight with a flag.
Yeah. Fight or flight? Is that what you said? That's
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
phrase. That's a great phrase. Fight or flight. That's what our brain tells us to do. Okay? And it's not because a lot of times it may not even be that I'm angry or I dislike you. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid. I'm uncomfortable. And my reaction to that is to get angry or bigger or whatever it may be. So that's why resentment, fear, anger, they're all tied together. Okay. A lot of times you see a lot of